Hello, 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 and welcome back to another riveting episode of If Margaritas Could Talk. I am your host, Tracy Black, and now I know what you're thinking. What is the deal with feeling stuck after 40? Grab a margarita or beverage of your choice, and let's dive right into it, shall we? You hit 40. And suddenly it feels like life handed you a how to be confused manual instead of a birthday cake. You wake up one day and think, wow, I'm officially in my I'll never wear skinny jeans again era. And let's be real, who even decided that 40 was the new 30 anyway? Well, I'm still waiting for my refund on that one. Now, let's be honest. When we were kids, being 40 seemed ancient. I mean, that's when people went from cool to do you have any hard candy kind of cool-ish in a blink of an eye. But here we are on the other side, staring down the barrel of a midlife crisis like it's a never-ending Zoom call with someone who doesn't know how to mute their mic. But seriously, feeling stuck at this age can hit harder than a surprise visit from your in-laws. It's like you've been cruising along the highway of life and suddenly you just hit a roadblock. You know, the kind that says detour ahead and you're like, can I just take a nap instead? Now I get it. You might be sitting here wondering, is it just me? Is my life a sitcom that got canceled after one season? Spoiler alert, no, it's not just you. It's like everyone you know suddenly started using the phrase midlife crisis like it's the hottest new trend. Then suddenly you're interested in things you wouldn't have touched with a 10-foot pole in your 20s. I mean, who knew that adult coloring books and board games could be so riveting? Honestly, they should just call it rediscovering your inner child now with more snacks. Do you remember when turning 40 or even 50 was like reaching the top of a mountain? Now it feels more like you're stuck in a valley trying to figure out if you should climb back up or just set up camp and call it a day. In my experience, it feels somewhat like a nope, not today moment. So I'm going to paint a picture. You wake up one day, you look in the mirror and think, wow, who is that? Oh, it's just me, 40 plus years older and 40 plus years wiser. Or at least that's what I keep telling myself. And suddenly you're contemplating life's choices like you're an existential philosopher, but with a lot more snack crumbs on your shirt. Now let's be clear about the classic what now moment, which I think for me, I've had a couple of those in the last couple of years. You've got a career, maybe some kids, a dog that thinks it's a cat, and yet you still find yourself staring into the abyss of your existential dread. What do I want to do with my life? You ponder while simultaneously Googling how to make a perfect souffle because, priorities. I have asked myself this question probably 10 times in the last 5-6 years. I think post-COVID had such a huge effect on the after effect of who we are and where we belong and all the questions that seem to be popping up. Now, much like me, you've probably experienced that delightful moment when your friends start having the deep conversation about retirement plans, and you're just over here trying to remember if you fed your houseplants this week. And you go, retirement? You think, I'd like to just retire into my pajamas right about now. So the real question is why? Why do we feel stuck? You start wondering, is this it? Is this my life? Is this the point where I start collecting cats and yelling at the kids to get off my lawn? Let's be real. We all know that lawn is just a metaphor for our sanity at this point. So here's the kicker. Feeling stuck doesn't mean you're done. Nope, not at all. It just means that you're at a pit stop, refueling for the next leg of your journey. Think of it like a video game. You've hit a tough level, and now it's time to strategize. Maybe you need a new power-up, like learning to salsa dance or taking that pottery class that you keep putting off. Because we all know scrolling for hours on Amazon looking for that next self-help book or body scrub isn't where the answers are. We all have spent decades climbing that ladder of success, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. So what do? Do you take up knitting, start a band, or heaven forbid, dive into the world of avocado toast and meditation? Let's not forget, though, about the wonderful world of self-discovery. I mean, have you ever tried to find yourself in a yoga class? Your mind is wandering. You're just trying to touch your toes while the instructor is whispering sweet nothings about inner peace. Meanwhile, you're over there contemplating if you should just have stayed home and binged watched that new series instead. Being stuck at 40 doesn't mean you're out of options. No, it doesn't. It's just a sign you've crossed into the choose your own adventure section of life. You can still pivot like a pro. You could start a new career, take a different cooking class, or even attempt to understand TikTok. Like, let's be honest, is the real reason we feel stuck because we just can't keep up with the kids. So remember, it's perfectly okay to take a moment to breathe, laugh, or maybe even embrace the chaos. Life is like a roller coaster. There will be ups and downs and unexpected twists. But the key is to throw your hands up in the air and enjoy the ride. Like my son says, every day is a different day. No 2 moments are the same. Alrighty, folks, that's it for today. Join me next week when I discuss why 50 is really just 40 with better skincare. Until then, don't forget to laugh at the absurdity of it all because life is too short not to. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, if you're feeling stuck, you're definitely not alone. And if you are loving our podcast, please like, follow, and subscribe. You can always check out more episodes at www.ifmargaritascouldtalk.com. Catch you next time. Cheers.